Well, then we will begin. Everybody, welcome to this morning's general session of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners for June 30th, 2020. We will begin. First, we should remember that this is a public meeting and it is being recorded. If you're on this morning's call or this morning's meeting by phone, please remember to hit *6 to mute and unmute your phone. You should act accordingly with decorum as it is a public meeting. We will take questions from the media at the end of general session this morning. And I know we have, for sure, we have a public hearing and speaker slip. Do we have a public hearing? No, we have speaker slips. So we will have some speakers at this morning's meeting that will come up as we go along. This morning we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's always difficult to do the Pledge of Allegiance by video conference, but we do it because it's important. So thank you, Commissioner Boyce. I will need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the June 25th, 2020 briefing session and the June 22, 24, and 26, 2020 administrative briefings.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
All right, the engineer.
Resolution number 423-20. Resolution in support of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners declaration of racism as a public health crisis and creation of the Franklin County Engineers Anti-Racism and Equity Program.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Officially for the record, my name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer for every resident, every day. Commissioners, with me today is also Simone Burley, who is the Diversity and Inclusion Coordinator for the Franklin County Engineers Office. If it's okay by you, I'll say a few words on this resolution, ask Simone to add to the presentation, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Commissioners, this is a resolution that we're very excited about, one that we've worked very hard on. It has two primary goals. Number one, I and the Franklin County Engineers Office want to show support for your declaration of racism as a public health crisis. And then number two, to follow up on that, we wanted to come up with very specific, positive, measurable action items that we could implement through our anti-racism and equity program. It's important to us that we not just say that we are in support of your declaration, but to come up with a plan to then follow up on and hold ourselves accountable to it. And so again, this is a plan that we worked very hard on. Simone Burley has done an excellent job with. It covers three areas. Number one, with our workforce, with our teammates. Number two, with our line of business. So the vendors, the suppliers, the engineering consultants and contractors that we work with. And then number three, in regards to our public outreach. And so this is a program that I hope and I will strive for personally to live each and every day. We also want to visit this anti-racism equity program on a weekly basis with our Monday staff meetings with supervision. We will visit it on a monthly basis during our project status meetings. We will also conduct quarterly reviews with folks knowledgeable in this subject matter outside of our office to help us stay accountable. And then on an annual basis, close to May 25th of each year, we will bring this program back to you to present the action items that we have completed, the ones that we are still working on, and the new action items that we've come up with to add to the program. With that, Simone, would you please add? And thank you very much, Simone.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Burley.
Good morning. Thank you, Engineer Robertson. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to share some remarks about this resolution and very important program, the Franklin County Engineers Anti-Racism and Equity Program. Next Wednesday will mark my 1-year anniversary as the Diversity and Inclusion Coordinator for Engineer Robertson. And when I was preparing for my job interview last year, I came across the vision statement of the Franklin County Engineers Office. And I read it. The words moved me. I felt an immediate connection. I read it again. And I thought, wow, this is awesome. And I said to myself, I really, really want to work for this organization. So as you see, I was selected for the position. And I found out once I started the job that the vision statement was a collaborative effort among various teammates from different backgrounds and jobs in our agency, and it wasn't written just by one person. And it is the essence of who we are as an agency. And Engineer Robertson desired that a section of the vision statement be devoted to diversity and inclusion, and that turned out to be paragraph 3 of the vision statement, which reads, the Franklin County Engineers Office is focused on offering a diverse and inclusive work environment where all employees are supported and have the opportunity to share ideas, to grow, and to succeed. We develop future leaders by providing training and education opportunities. Our team understands the importance of and is committed to utilizing small and disadvantaged business enterprises through procurement and professional services. We actively pursue public engagement and outreach to underserved populations of Franklin County. So it's very rewarding when we implement a program, a policy, an activity that's directly aligned with our vision statement. It's an honor and a privilege to work for Engineer Robertson, and I want to thank him for his leadership, his strength, his courage, and his commitment to advancing diversity and inclusion and equity efforts. It's very important work, and I'm very proud to be a part of Team FCEO. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
You know, it's very impressive that the engineer and Cornell in particular, that you have taken this on, not just as a resolution to have a commitment toward diversity and inclusion, but to actually have the actions that you're going to do and to hold yourselves accountable to those actions. And Simone, it's thrilling to know that you're there as part of the team that's going to really work together to really, so that we can all hold each other accountable to all of the actions that we're taking. I am thrilled that we're doing this resolution today, because it's not just us as county commissioners and other boards of county commissioners. This kind of action is happening all over the community and all over the nation now. And to have you doing this is just an example of really the expansion of the work that the health department, the board of commissioners, and others are doing. So thank you. It's an honor to have you doing this.
You're quite welcome. Thank you, Commissioner.
Hey, Cornell, this is Commissioner Boyce. Good morning. So can you just talk for a minute? I mean, I'm very grateful for the resolution and the work that you're doing. I appreciate the outreach you've done with me personally to kind of talk through some of these things. I really appreciate that as well. But can you talk a little bit about it? You know, as you know, as we've talked, one of the greatest issues in all of this work is the inequities that often exist in procurement and access to doing work and such for the county. And I know embedded in this resolution and your construct for your office, this is something that's important to you, and you've been zeroed in on it. but I think it's important to just restate, the plan with regards to minority-owned engineering firms and other resources that you might utilize, and how you're going to approach that with this, not just a declaration, but your policy changes in the office. I think that's one of the things I want to make sure the public really knows we're really doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner, for that question. And I would like to point out that as we worked on this program, this AEP, Anti-Racism and Equity Program, we reached out to folks outside of the walls of our office, folks in the know. We thought it was important to listen. And so we call these listening meetings, as we've heard the term elsewhere. Very important. And we had 8 of these listening meetings, and they were all very beneficial. And so part of what we learned from these listening meetings, number one, that education is paramount, and that we need to focus on things like implicit bias and unconscious bias, very tricky matter to deal with. But more specifically to your question in regards to businesses that we work with in both engineering consultants, we track the minority disadvantaged women business enterprises that we work with, and we're plan to increase our percentage of working with such firms. We also have recently rolled out on May 4th an EBE program, Equitable Business Enterprise Program, and this sets aspirational goals for our construction projects that are determined by competitive lowest and best bidder. But in the bid documents, we require a certain percentage of aspirational goal again for the winning contractor to have certain percentage of subcontractors perform the work. And so those are 2 specific examples that we will track that are very measurable and that we think can make a significant impact to our community and with the businesses that we work with. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Commissioner Gray, if I can continue. I think that's really where the rubber meets the road, because it's those are things that we can track and begin to quantify in the big picture of things, to really, when we look back a couple of years from now, it won't be the declarations that we'll be talking about. We'll be looking at the actions that really change the landscape to show our level of commitment to inclusiveness. And there ain't but a handful of minority-owned engineering firms. Nonetheless, the idea of creating access, fair, plain access to them is the most crucial growth element that we can offer. And so I'm appreciative of that. And certainly, I just want to be on the record now, during the budget process, even for those independently elected offices, we'll be asking the questions about, how much procurement and contracting you're doing with minority-owned firms. And we want to see that data, and we want to see the growth, and so I just want to plant that seed now, because I think it'll be valuable as we're considering all budgets down the road and supporting. I mean, certainly you've got to do what you got to do as engineering and an independently elected office, but you just dedicated your office and committed to this work, and we value and embrace it and want to support you in that. So congratulations on taking the action. I think it's great leadership on your part. And I think your investment is sincere, by the way, and look forward to seeing the results of you and Simone's work a year from now, as we begin to sort of take that look back that shows what our level of investment it truly is. So thank you and congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner.
Cornell, Commissioner Boyce is absolutely correct in pointing out the significant level of detail, and that where the as he uses the phrase, where the rubber meets the road in terms of the contracts and the possibility of making an impact in regard to where the actual work that's being done and the impact that's being made by this resolution. That being said, I don't want to overlook the symbolic nature of this, because I think that's also very important. The fact that you are the Franklin County engineer, we have spoken to and talked to county commissioners, boards of county commissions, and mayors throughout Ohio. We've talked to the boards of county commissioners throughout the country. and there are folks that are passing resolutions and ordinances all throughout the state, all throughout the country. But we've also seen that not only are there also public health departments, but also boards of school boards, and there are a number of other entities that are beyond just city councils, mayors' offices, boards of commissioners, and what you would consider to be, the obvious, that are making these declarations throughout the state and throughout the country. And Ohio, frankly, is a leader. We've been, Lauren Rummel from our staff has been working with NACO to compile a list. We want to see, because as we continue to push the state, and thankfully the governor the other day called, racism a public health crisis publicly the other day. The legislature hasn't done it yet. Don't know that they're going to, but we want to keep pushing them to. But thankfully the governor announced it. And so as we continue to push on that front, and we continue to, inquire and push our colleagues across the country to do this, it's not insignificant at all that a Franklin County engineer in his office is a leader in this way. And so, hopefully other elected officials in Franklin County will step up and do something of this nature. And hopefully you'll have an impact, and other engineers across the state and other elected officials in their offices across the county and across the state will see and see this as a significant step, and follow your lead, and move in this direction. Because while it in some ways is symbolic in nature, to go back to Commissioner Boyce's point, while some may see this as symbolic in nature, if they follow through in the way that you indicate that you will, then we can have an impact. We can have an impact in Franklin County on contracting, and we can have an impact, hopefully across the state, across the country. And that's when you make a real significant statement. That's when you change a culture. That's when you make real significant change that matters. And so commend you, sir, for this. Appreciate it. And we also appreciate the work, Ms. Burley, that you've done, and appreciate the fact that you are willing to be measured on this, and willing to be to allow us to continue to work with you going into the future. So thank you.
You're quite welcome, and thank you, Commissioner, for that comment. I appreciate your all's leadership, and early on with the most recent chain of events, I wondered to myself, what can I really do? County engineer, it's not a real high profile elected office position, but I think that it's important, as you said, for us all to do what we can, even though it may be a small incremental measure. It's the sum of those small efforts that will add up, make the difference, and get us all where we want to be. So I think that was kind of how we circled in on this notion. We're engineers, we're an engineering office, so we do a lot of planning and plans and capital improvement programs. And so this is kind of a parallel thought process to that. And so it's one that we are comfortable with, at least with the structure. And we feel like this will allow us to self-monitor, but allow others through transparency to help keep us accountable. And we welcome that. This is just a start. Yes, sir.
Engineer Robertson, I was an independently elected official previous to being the county commissioner. I was the clerk of courts for 2 terms. I don't, off the top of my head, simply because we're not in the budget process at the moment, I don't recollect what your budget is. What is your annual budget roughly?
It's about 63 million.
So it's what is known as economic impact. You have a significant budget, a $63 million budget. So that's that you have the ability to make a significant economic impact. And so that's what you can do. Yes, that's sir. What you can do right there. You have the ability to make a significant economic impact. And so we appreciate the fact that you have shown a willingness to make a significant economic impact. Franklin County has a $1.1 roughly a $1.8 billion all funds budget with 400. Administrator Wilson's on my screen, so I don't want to screw this up, but a $480 million general funds budget, or somewhere in that range, so $450 to $480 million. Who knows what it is this year? Who knows what it is this year in the age of the pandemic? But we have the ability, and I've been saying it since I became a county commissioner, or ran for county commissioner in 2008. We have the ability to make a significant impact, financial impact. We are an economic engine in Central Ohio, and so we have the ability to make a significant impact in many, many ways in the area of economic development and in many, many ways. And so when you take a look at it that way, the impact that you can make financially, then that's what you can do, and that's what we've been trying to do. That's what we've been trying to do through the pandemic. That's what we've been looking at doing in this area of the impact that we can make. It's one of the things that we've been trying to do as we look at this area of racism and what we can do in this area as well. One of the many things that we've been trying to do. Certainly, it's what we've been trying to do as it relates to poverty. Is what can we do in many ways as it relates to poverty. And as we've said for the last couple of years, racism is the #1 cause of poverty in Central Ohio. We don't believe it's just in Central Ohio, but certainly in Central Ohio. I apologize for going on and on about this issue, but it is certainly something that we are very passionate about here.
Sure.
Thank
you. Grady, this is
yes, sir.
Wilson, County Administrator. Impressed with your handle on the budget. $483.4 million. So you were in the ballpark. I didn't have to cut in.
483.
It all funds nearly 1.8 billion. So great handle on the budget. Engineer Robinson, as I said last week, to take steps like this take professional courage and more conviction, particularly when you're in an office where you can easily say, I don't really see where the dots connect and how I can be involved and make a difference. But to the residents of Franklin County, this action is significant. One, by the declaration, and two, by intention to take actions. So I just want to, from county administration, say that we appreciate the partnership and the collaboration, and this is just yet another example. But I also, before we close on this topic, the Transportation Improvement District, I think, has a great potential to do a lot of things that will be very beneficial to the residents. And I know you will take the principles and the goals that will be developed over time under this program and marry them with the work under the Transportation Improvement District and that board.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you, Administrator Wilson.
Thanks.
Commissioners, in closing for my remarks, my presentation, if I could just say thank you for your leadership. Thank you to Simone Burley for her hard work on this program. Thank you to all the teammates at the engineer's office. Our strength is in our team. And then also would like to thank the 8 folks who participated in our listening meetings. That was also very helpful. And lastly, I'd like to thank Mark Kovac for his story in the dispatch. Mark, thank you for the interview and helping us tell that story. Thank you all very much.
That's great.
All right, if there are no comments, no further comments or questions, move for adoption of Resolution 423-20.
Second.
I beg your pardon, Commissioners, we actually have received 2 speaker slips.
Yes, I apologize.
I apologize, sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. That was my fault. We all got caught up in what was going on here. We have 2 speaker slips. So we have, if they're both on the line, we have a request to speak from, we should remind folks, one, please remember that this is a public hearing. So keep your remarks. Remember that it's a public hearing, and therefore you should speak with decorum. And you have 3 minutes, and Clerk Hindenlang will keep the time. First, we will hear from Sonia Simpson. If you could introduce yourself and your address for the record, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you this morning. I'm speaking in reference to Cornell Robertson's anti-racism and equity program. Sonia Simpson, my work address is 420, Suite 420, 250 West Street, Suite 420. I work for Michael Baker International. And I am a person who has worked in the public sector for more than 20 years and similar agencies as to the county engineer's office. And in all that time, I've never seen a leader step up to decide very decisively to go from compliance to commitment when it comes to racial equity, when it comes to anti-racism, when it comes to fair dealings and diversity. His values and how he brings that forth to lead this agency is bar none beyond anything I've seen before. This new program with its measurable actions and reporting the outcome will go so far. And I really hope, and as it was mentioned by Commissioner O'Grady, I really hope that other engineer offices will mirror this, use this as a template. It should be a model to follow. It is not virtue signaling. It's not lip service. It is an opportunity to step up and step out and really use the platform of the office to do more than what is just the bare minimum required to step forward. And you heard what was stated earlier. This is not just because of what's going on currently. This is not a fad. The county engineer's office has stepped forward into racial equity and inclusion opportunities and programming well before now. This is just another step, again, to go from compliance to commitment and to really step forward. So I applaud them. And I also applaud the county commissioners in recognizing that racism is a public health crisis. It indeed is. And public health means economic health eventually. And with racism and its evil entanglements throughout all aspects of public life, for those who are on the receiving end, they can't be healthy. They can't be healthy economically, and they can't be healthy in that public health sense just because of the fact that they don't have the same opportunity. So I appreciate those things, and I appreciate County Engineer Robertson's strong stance. So I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Simpson. Well said. We appreciate you being here this morning. Couldn't agree with you more. We also have with us this morning Pedro Mejia. Mr. Mejia, if you'd like to speak, please again, if you could, one, keep your remarks to 3 minutes. If you could also introduce yourself and your address for the record.
Commissioners, I know Mr. Mejia was having trouble logging in this morning. He was traveling. It is possible he's not on the line. I do not see him in the waiting room.
Okay. Well, if Mr. Mejia joins us at some point, Clerk Hindenlang, could you let us know, and we'll let him speak at that point.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you. All right. Commissioner Boyce, you were ready to move, if you'd like to.
Great. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 423-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 423-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners, very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cornell. Thank you, Ms. Burley. The Court of Common Pleas.
Resolution number 424-20, resolution authorizing a contract extension between the Franklin County Board of Commissioners and Tyler Technologies Incorporated for the Tyler JMS jury management software and the associated subscription in the amount of $26,127.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Pfeiffer, IT Director with the Common Police Court General Division. This resolution approves a contract extension with Tyler Technologies, who provides the court's jury management software. The extension is for a period of 3 years and allows for all services to continue as currently provided. The cost per summons is $1.82 with an estimated 14,000 summonses sent annually by the court. The total cost per year is not to exceed $26,127, not including postage. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Commissioner Boyce?
All right. I'm reading something on it. I'm sorry. Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 424-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 424-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. All right, to the Domestic Relations Court.
Resolution number 425-20, resolution authorizing a contract extension with Action for Children for parenting seminars in the amount of $39,672.60.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director with Court of Common Pleas.
Good morning, Barb.
Good morning. This contract with Action for Children provides parenting classes for parents seeking a divorce, legal separation, annulment, or the allocation of parental rights. This contract was originally bid through the Purchasing Department in 2018. This resolution is requesting a contract extension for 1 year. The rate remains unchanged at $1,322 per seminar, with an annual cost of $39,672, which is offset by a $22 filing fee to pay for these seminars. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 425-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 425-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 426-20, resolution authorizing contracts for attendance services with Canal Winchester, Gahanna Jefferson, and Hilliard City Schools in the amount of $65,257.
This resolution is requesting the approval of 3 contracts with school districts, including Canal Winchester, Gahanna, and Hilliard City Schools. The school districts will reimburse the court for 50% of the salary cost for truancy officers that are assigned to each district. With me this morning is Julie Troth, our Deputy Director of Programs for the court, which she'll discuss a little bit about these programs. She's right here in the same room with me, so I'm going to just turn the computer over to her.
Good morning, Commissioners. The Truancy Intervention and Prevention Program reduces formal court filings related to truancy by partnering with these local school districts to address attendance barriers by providing resources and services to youth and families in Franklin County. Our early indicators of success for these 3 school districts indicate that 316 youth and families were referred to the Truancy Intervention and Prevention Program for the 2019-2020 school year. From these districts, only 19 youth required formal court intervention. Pending any questions, the court is requesting approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 426-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 426-20 has been adopted.
Hey, Barb,
Thank you.
you there? You're there still, Barb?
Now I'm back.
Hey, can I ask you, Barb, how, not to get into anything sensitive, but how long have you been with the county?
I actually, just on June 1st, I passed 29 years.
I was wondering, only because I've been around for a long time and you've been here longer. And so as you were presenting, I thought to myself, I bet you Barb's got to be getting close to, her 30 years. It just dawned on me because, I've been around I've been around longer because I was around before, but I've been around for going on 20 years now. And when I got here, you were here. And when we do these and I'm seeing everybody on screen, I think, this person's new or that person hasn't been here very long. And I thought Barb's been here longer than me. So anyway, I was just curious.
Yeah, so 29 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah.
But by the way, Commissioner Brown, can tell Eric we said hello. I just saw him walk and get something. Tell him we all said hello.
Himself breakfast, but not me.
And I noticed you're a little low on milk there.
Yeah, I know. You gonna offer to do the grocery shopping?
You don't want me to do your grocery shopping, trust me.
I saw Judge Brown walk through the background last week when I was on a call with Commissioner Brown. Every once in a while, I get a pop up. So that's why I have the wall to my back. So anyway,
that's why I have my lovely picture.
It dawned on me that I've known you the whole time I've been at the county, and that you've been around longer than me. So
yes.
Well, congratulations to 29 years.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Right.
Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right. The coroner.
Resolution number 427-20, resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriations for the addition of one full-time position to support morgue operations at the Franklin County Forensic Science Center.
Sorry, forgot to unmute myself. Good morning, Commissioners. I am Amanda Alvarez, the Director of Operations at the Franklin County Forensic Science Center, representing Dr. Anahi Ortiz. We are asking for the authorization of an increase of a full-time morgue attendant to bring up our operations due to the increase in demand that we've had within this county in the last couple months. We are asking for the appropriations to be provided through the CARES Act. And if there are pending any questions, we would ask for you to approve this resolution.
Yeah, I have one question. Is that a skeleton with a
Sorry.
suit on? I'm just
yes.
sorry.
He
I'm a little
is
distracted
not real.
from the skeleton that's hanging over there. And is that what kind of hat is that the skeleton has on?
New York Yankees.
Oh, now we've really got some issues. Okay, all right.
I have some really cool stuff.
I'm still unpacking my office, so I had no other place to put him right now.
I see. Okay.
I have some really cool stuff in my office. But
the Yankees hat.
I've got it. I'm going to have to send you a Cleveland Indians hat.
Well, I mean, we are the farm team now with the Clippers, so.
No. Oh, the Indians farm team, yes.
Yes, the Indians, yes.
The Indians are fine. Just don't send her a Browns cap. That could cost you in a no vote.
I have a Browns hat sitting right over here on the bar. I can send it to you, no problem.
That would cost you a no vote to the coroner's office. So I'm looking forward to making my way over to the new Forensic Science Center and really getting to see the finished product. It's so unfortunate we're in a time where we don't get to kind of see that stuff, because that's really a big deal for Franklin County. And I know my colleagues who were working on this long before I got here know it's a sign of growth in our county, and so it doesn't seem all that sexy maybe to the average person listening. Essentially more, but it's really a forensic science center, and it brings Franklin County into a place of modern technology and modern efficiency and so many things that matter in the big scheme of taking care of someone's loved one when their time has come. And so I'm really grateful and supportive of this resolution. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 427-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 427-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm trying to. Dean, my my agenda's on my phone, and somebody decided to call me right in the middle of this, and so I lost my agenda. Who are we going to?
With it.
The treasurer's office,
All
Commissioner.
right, treasurer's office. Thank you. Okay, here we go. The treasurer's office.
Thank
Oh, I
you.
should have known.
Resolution
There's
number,
Elise there on my screen. I should have known. Hi, Elise. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. If I would have looked up, I would have known. There we go.
resolution number 428-20. Resolution authorizing a contract with Pro Team Solutions Incorporated to provide deliverable-based services to the Franklin County Treasurer System in the amount of $156,000.
So good morning, Elise Thomas, the Budget and Purchasing Coordinator for the Treasurer's Office. This resolution is requesting the approval of the contract with Pro Team Solutions, Inc. for a period of 6 months. PSI will continue to provide the oversight and maintenance and support that we've identified performance issues. And pending any questions or comments, the Franklin County Treasurer's Office requests that this resolution be approved.
Thank you. There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 428-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 428-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elise.
Thank you.
Sanitary engineer.
Resolution number 429-20. Resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Elite Excavating Company of Ohio Incorporated for the National Pike Little Farms Neighborhood Water Main Replacement Project, Phase 2, in the amount of $4,698,051.99.
All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. I seem to have the wrong things here. I know this one though. We are requesting the approval of a contract for the Little Farms water main replacement project, Phase 2, which was, sorry about this, bid out, and Elite Excavating Company of Ohio was found to be the lowest and best bidder after thorough review and interviews. This will be, we have a very extensive past with Elite. They've performed many projects for the county, and we have faith in their ability and professionalism, and look forward to working with them again on this project. Pending any questions, we request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 429-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 429-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 430-20. Resolution authorizing a contract agreement with G&G Enterprises Complete Excavating Service, LLC for the Hamilton Meadows Sanitary Sewer Realignment Project in the amount of $172,983.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sanitary Engineer is requesting the authorization of a contract with G&G Enterprises Complete Excavating Service for Hamilton Meadows Sanitary Sewer Realignment Project. Through the Sanitary Engineer, the Board of Commissioners owns the Hamilton Meadows, the Hamilton Meadows collection system, which is located in the Hamilton Meadows subdivision in Hamilton Township. The southern portion of the system, which is located in a park and connects to the Big Walnut Trunk Sewer owned by Columbus, has been the site of several sanitary sewer overflows in the past years. The cause of the SSOs have been attributed to the use of old treatment plant structures and existing alignment, which has several unnecessary turns and size changes. To prevent any further SSOs, the sanitary engineer will be realigning approximately 330 feet of the 12-inch sewer to straighten the sewer and reduce the number of manholes and structures. The existing manholes and structures will be removed and the existing sewer main plugged and abandoned in place. Bids were received on February 19th for this project, with G&G Enterprises being the lowest and best bidder for a total of $172,983. Funding for this project will be paid by the $5 million provided to the department by the Department of Sanitary Engineering by the Board of Commissioners. The project is slated to start next month and finish sometime in mid-October. Pending any questions or comments, I request the approval of this resolution.
Ryan, I was just down there. Sorry.
No problem.
No, I cut it out. I was just down there. Is this on Rathmel Road?
Yeah, it's on the corner of Rathmel and is it Lock? I think it's Rathmel and Lockbourne.
Right near
It's
the
in
high
that
school.
southwest corner. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. I know where it is. I just drove. It was funny. I just was down there and just drove past it not long ago. Okay.
Yeah, they had an old treatment system or old treatment plant that used to be there in the 60s. And then when they decided to connect to the trunk sewer, for some reason, some of the existing structures in the treatment plant were utilized and gave a zigzag pattern to the sewer, and it's just not suitable anymore. And with it being in a park, it's not a good place for sanitary sewer overflows.
Gotcha.
So we've been working with Hamilton Township to get an easement for the new sewer, and they're excited about this project too.
All right. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 430-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 430-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 431-20, resolution confirming and authorizing the county administrator's action to repair a sanitary sewer main and a purchase order for the needed repairs in the amount of $85,250.
Sanitary engineers requesting the authorization of emergency sewer repair located on Fairway Drive in the Worthington Hills area. 30-foot section of the sanitary sewer is partially collapsed, leaving the remaining portion of the sewer compromised and in imminent danger of further collapsing. The repair of the sewer requires purchase of general contracting services to replace the 30-foot section of main to prevent potential backups. Emergency bypass pumping has been implemented to ensure that no customers are without service and flows remain unimpeded. 5 firms were solicited for quotes, with only one being received, and that was from Elite Excavating Company of Ohio, the same company that will be performing our Little Farms project, in the amount of $77,500. And as I previously said, we have extensive experience with Elite. They actually performed another emergency repair just north of this area about 2 or 3 years ago. So they're familiar with the area and what it takes to deal with residents up in that area to keep everybody happy. In addition, the sanitary engineer wishes to execute the county administrator has exercised his authority to enter into a contract on behalf of the county in occurrence of an emergency pursuant to Franklin County Board of Commissioner Resolution number 1254-99, resolution authorizing the county administrator to perform administrative functions in a disaster or emergency situation. Because this is an emergency, we are asking for approval of an additional 10% contingency just to make sure that we have all our bases covered when we get down there. This repair is 25 feet deep, which makes it very tricky, and to get down there and do things safely is quite expensive. With the additional contingency, the total of the amount requested is $85,250. Pending any questions or comments, I request the passage of this resolution.
Ryan, when can they get started should this pass today?
They would start on Monday.
Okay.
We tried to get them here earlier, but due to short notification and this being a holiday week, Monday was as quickly as they could mobilize.
Yeah, it would be nice to get them in as quickly as possible.
Yep, they will be on site Monday and we will be there.
Okay.
Great. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 431-20.
Second.
Excuse me, moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 431-20 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks, Ryan. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 432-20, resolution approving an amendment to the sub-agreement with the National Center for Urban Solutions for programming to engage fathers and outreach to early child care providers in support of the Step Up to Quality initiative in the amount of $69,999.99.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. COVID-19 has turned our world upside down. The childcare has been one of the areas hardest hit. It is also one of the most critical sectors for us to stabilize as we strive to create a new normal. While the Step Up to Quality deadline has been pushed back from July 1st to September 1st due to the pandemic, we still have work to do. This amendment will extend our contract with the National Center for Urban Solutions to continue engaging fathers through the Calling All Dads initiative to promote the importance of Step Up to Quality and high quality early learning. Under this agreement, NCUS will also distribute over 100 kindergarten readiness kits to include workbooks and supplies for at-home activities to fathers of children under the age of 5. In addition, each kit will include a thermometer, so families are able to take the temperatures of their children before dropping them off to childcare. NCUS will also continue to engage fathers in early learning as early learning ambassadors and promote the importance of quality early learning and introduce them to childcare as a business opportunity as well as a career pathway. This amendment will be funded with Title $20 and extends the length of the contract from June 30th to the end of the year. This resolution supports goal number 11 and goal number 13 of the Poverty Blueprint. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Boyce. Who's the who heads up the National Center for Urban Solutions? Who's the CEO?
I believe the CEO of NCUS is John Gregory.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to make the connection. Yeah. Okay. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of resolution to, what is it? What number is this? Sorry, I'm looking at the screen, but I'm way down in the contract.
43220.
Thank you, sir. Move for adoption of 432-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 432-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 433-20. Resolution approving 17 subaward agreements with multiple community agencies for Franklin County out-of-school time youth summer camp programs in the amount of $1,784,717.35.
The ongoing pandemic has forced our community partners, us and our community partners, to reimagine our traditional summer program. Our number one priority is ensuring a safe, enriching environment for youth ages 5 to 13, their families, as well as the number of staff members assigned to summer camp programs. All 24 of our community partners we are contracting with this summer, including the 17 that we are presenting today, will provide age-appropriate, engaging programming with an emphasis on health, safety, and well-being. They will incorporate trauma-informed care practices and implement opportunities for youth to express how COVID-19 has impacted their lives. 7 of the providers will be offering in-person programming. Another 7 will offer virtual programming, and 3 additional will provide a blended approach of both in-person and virtual. On-site in-person programming will be provided 5 days per week at varied hours to allow for as many youth to participate while maintaining compliance with all state and county public health guidance. This includes maintaining staff-to-youth ratios, daily temperature checks, and hand sanitation. Virtual learning will include daily 3-hour live sessions designed to be engaging and encourage youth participation with minimal assistance from parents or adults in the household. Enrolled youth will be provided with the supplies and materials they need to participate in activities ranging from reading clubs to wellness programming, physical fitness lessons, piano lessons, and art projects. All summer camps will operate for 6 to 8 weeks, with most beginning earlier this month and running through mid to late August. This year, our partners will serve more than 1,600 TANF-eligible low-income children, including over the 1,100 that will be supported by the 17 providers on today's resolution. Joining us today, we have 2 guests, Christy Angel with the YWCA and Dwayne Caceres from Directions for Youth to share a little bit about how their organizations will be supporting summer camp programming this year.
Good morning.
So if we can start off with Amy.
I was going to say, who's going to speak first? I think ladies before gentlemen is the way I was taught when I was a child. How are you today, Miss Angel? Hey, speaking of which, can you give Commissioner Boyce the business, please? About he's I don't know if you were on earlier when he was trying to smear my our Cleveland Browns. But there you go.
Yay.
So Commissioner Boyce,
I'm sorry, no on this resolution.
Yeah.
I'm voting no now. So I just want to throw that out there. So I'd like to make an amendment to this resolution for we can just strike out the YWCA or this.
I want to say it right here and right now. Christy Angel and myself, she's the other biggest Browns fan that I know of. She and I are.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, and she never disclosed that to me for, I think, an apparent reason. And this changes our whole relationship, Miss Angel. I mean,
I love her.
This sets us back years. I've known you for a long time, and I can't even tell you how disappointed I am to know you right now.
This is how much I love this woman. I nominated her for the DeSales High School Hall of Fame. And that was hard to do, but that's how much I love Christy Angel, because that was hard to do. I'm still not in the Bishop Reading High School Hall of Fame, by the way, but there's a whole reason for that. Black ball. So
I'm gonna have to talk to the bishop about that.
It's a public, yeah. We got a new bishop now, so it's okay. It's a whole public forum. So let's move on, please.
Well, thank you, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you, Vivian, for giving us an opportunity to talk about our program. This is a summer camp program for the children at our family shelter, and so this program will serve about 25 children at a time. So there will be more than 25 children through the 8-week period, because as you know, families are with us for a period of time and then they move on. But in any given time, the class size has to remain about 25, given the need to social distance. I want to also thank, before I give just a little bit more about the camp, I want to thank Tori Darden. Tori is AFS staff, and she has been amazing throughout all of COVID-19, really helping us, process grants, get things moving, keep things moving. She's been just really helpful to us, and I'm sure other nonprofits, other organizations could say the same, but I just thought that it was important to mention her, because I know that with all the uncertainty, it's difficult, to pull off some of these things and get us to make sure that we're going to be compliant and keep kiddos safe during these times. So our summer camp is kindergarten to age 13. It will serve all of the children or children who want to participate and can, given the social distancing rules of our family shelter. We will have physical activity, reading, and STEM activity, because STEM programming, because of your funding in particular. This year, we are eliminating field trips. As you might imagine, it's difficult to transport children to places like the zoo and COSI and other places, but we will have some virtual programming as well for our campers. As a result of COVID, we will be sure to maintain smaller teacher to camper ratios. We have divided the students into 2 groups so that we can serve more children. And we are doing everything that we can do really to give children an enrichment program and something that gives them healthy play and activity, as well as their educational enrichment during this time. And as you might imagine, it's difficult, for all children, as we're in this COVID-19 social distancing environment, but then being homeless is already traumatic enough, and then it adds an additional burden on these kiddos. So we are very, very excited to have your support this year for our campers, and we look forward to sharing some of our results after we complete our 8-week program.
Christy, are these children going to need to wear masks? Is that required?
It is. Masks are required. When they are in a room and inside together. I believe they can
Right.
take masks off when they are outside, but we do have to keep them, the kiddos, separated some. So we have masks at the Family Center. We have staff that make masks consistently, continually, and then of course we have paper masks if we need to. But we have
Right.
children's masks for them as well. Lots of hand sanitizer, lots of cleaning.
Sure.
All of the, everything that we have to touch and so forth. We maintain a cleaning schedule of 3 to 4 times a day in the building as well.
This is such an important part of kids growing up is being around other kids and playing and doing activities that they might not get any other time. And for these kids in particular, who have other things going on in their lives, this is so important. So thank you for making this work, and thank you to our team at JFS for making these experiences work during this time in particular that's so difficult. Day camp is so critically important.
It is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing
And I believe-
I'm up next.
Yes.
My apologies. I wish I had the video going, but I left my iPad at home and my work computer does not have a camera on it. First, let me start by saying, as a Steeler fan, I just have to comment that
Well, now this
Commissioner Boyce, I hope
definitely in
that
trouble
that's
now.
why you're opposed to this other group. If I had my camera on, you would actually see that I have a picture of Jack Lambert behind me.
You've got my vote now,
Oh,
Ian, for the legislation. I'm back to
Apparently
voting
this
in approval.
resolution's going down
As long as we cancel
2-1.
out, and I appreciate you speaking last
Thank you.
over that Browns fan, that person over there. So I'm back on voting for this. I'm back in.
Yeah, it's going down 2-1 now.
Really quick, I'll tell you, one time somebody came to my office, they wanted to know what that picture was. I said, Jack Lambert. They said, is that your son next to Jack Lambert? I said, yeah. They said, why is his picture smaller than Jack Lambert's? And I said, because I've loved Jack Lambert a lot longer. My son isn't that old. Anyway,
Right.
Thank you. And first, let me also say, Vivian, thank you so much for always being so supportive of our work. So our 2 after-school centers are doing everything virtual. The Ohio Avenue Center, which is in between Newberry and Livingston on Ohio Avenue, typically serves 240 kids a day. Our center over at the Crittenden Center serves 50, and that's only because we're limited because of space, because of our building being so small over there. We have moved to total virtual programming for both. We're actually providing programming from 10:30 to 4:30. We have daily incentives, weekly incentives, and then end of the year incentives to promote participation from the kids. Right now, we're averaging about 120 kids a day throughout the programming. Program Stride is something we have always run year round. It addresses math, science, and reading. The kids we serve really cannot afford to lose or any time. So we've always run it during the summer programming. We're going to continue to do that. I will proudly say, in the last 3 years, we have sent 7 kids to college. 4 of them full rides on music scholarships, and that doesn't happen in the communities that we serve. So, and I have to gladly say, this year, 3 of them who received scholarships were all young women. So this is always frustrating me. We have a board that promotes it. It's always been 4 young men, and I had to see women up there, and now we do. So it's awesome. We also offer dance, art. There's another extra stride session for some of our kids who need extra tutoring and assistance. We have music, we have fitness, and then we have leadership development. When we had to close our after-school centers, we transitioned those into food distribution centers. We continue to do that, serving about 1,000. We serve both dinner and lunch out of our centers for that. So that programming continues as well as neighbors can come and get boxes, which not only have activity packs for kids, but we also have supplies that a lot of the people we serve just don't either have access to or resources for, and meaning like, cleaning supplies and wipes and disinfectant and things like that, mask. So we continue to go full force with all of that. Our kids are engaged. It's really great because they're doing it all in Zoom meetings, or you can see all the kids participate in. It's great still to see their faces all light up and with the activities that they're all involved in. We had to start the whole thing by putting activity boxes together, because a lot of things require, again, supplies that our families don't have the resources to purchase. So we truly appreciate the ongoing support.
Outstanding.
Wayne, is the music partly coming from your background in music?
Commissioner Brown, you're outing me. My son actually, he's an engineer, but on the side, he played in a punk metalcore band. And as Marilyn knows, I actually was invited to play with his band on 3 different occasions. And one time we won a battle of the bands. So, and I shared vocals with him. It was just, sorry, folks, I'm a metalcore punk fan now.
I love that you brought the music into all that you do for directions for families and youth. I think it's wonderful.
You know, the kids that we had on 4 of them got full ride scholarships, and all of them came out of our music program. And these are 4 people who had been with us since the 6th grade.
Well, that was something I wasn't expecting this morning. That's good.
If you need any suggestions, I can tell you which bands to listen to.
Well,
never know.
Beyond the music discussion, let me just say that your presentation was far better than that last person that I was presenting. I'm still sort of broken up from that, the way things started off there. But I do have a question, and this is probably directed at Administrator Wilson. I noticed these are TANF dollars, but are we using any COVID-19 dollars here, given much of the design work to some of these camps is rooted in the current environment that we're in, and they all seem to be impacted by it, whether it's the social distancing element, mask, thermometers, or whatever. Are we able to use COVID-19 dollars and then use TANF dollars for something else, or is it just best to use the TANF dollars that they already allocated?
In this case, the recommendation that I support is using the TANF dollars at this time. They were already allocated for this purpose, and supplement as necessary with coronavirus relief funds if needed.
So what you're saying is I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Wilson, I'm sorry.
I know also, as you know, we're looking at an initiative where we're going to put $5 million in corona relief funds out in an RFP for health and human service agencies, and we may get some proposals through that process as well. There, community partnerships coordinator Dana McQuarrie will be working on. We will be doing a partnership on that.
Outstanding. That's really good. I mean, given though the time frame, we're going to be able to execute the RFP. There's not a lot of time when we're effectively in July, and school will be back, August, September-ish, if you will. Will we have enough time to? And is there a way to do the RFP process super fast?
Based upon the schedule that's been provided to me, those dollars would get expended in time to do an accounting before the year is out.
Great. And then finally, Administrator Wilson and Commissioner Gray, if I may, will the agencies that we're funding today, will they have sort of crack at that apple too, in order to either expand, extend, or create other additional resources in this other pot of money too? So this is not their only bite at the apple, if you will.
Commissioner Boyce, President O'Grady, Commissioner Brown. Yes, it's an open process that we're contemplating.
Okay. All right. Thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of, what is this, 433? 433-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 433-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, commissioners, and have a great day.
Thank you, Vivian.
You too.
Thanks, guys. Sorry, my computer's stuck on my left. iPad's done. All right, now to community partnerships.
Resolution number 434-20, resolution authorizing one-year extensions related to the Catalyst Grant Program in $1,486,601.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Community Partnerships Administrator. I'm excited this morning to present this resolution, which would allow for an extension of a one-year contract extension for the 13 Catalyst grant recipients that were awarded our inaugural set of grants in 2019. Having all of these contracts on a single resolution will really allow us to get funding into the community much more quickly, as our nonprofit partners are really struggling and strapped. And so I think that streamlining the process is really timely, and I'm so pleased that we're able to do that this year. So pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 433-20.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, it's 434.
I'm sorry, 434-20.
I'll second. This
Moved
is
sorry, Commissioner.
no, it's okay.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 434-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Human resources.
Resolution number 435-20, resolution authorizing a settlement to Christina Day for a damage claim due to an incident involving a foster dog from the Franklin County Shelter and Adoption Center in the amount of $3,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. This resolution is a settlement for Christy Day for $3,000 to cover her medical copay and deductible that she sustained injuries while fostering a dog for the Animal Care and Control Center. After review of this by the prosecutor, they determined that this was in the best interest of the county to go forward with settlement. Pending any comments or questions, I would request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 435-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 435-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 436-20, resolution declaring Juneteenth an official paid holiday and eliminating Columbus Day as a holiday.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, Human Resources. Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, is an American holiday celebrated annually on June 19th. Juneteenth honors the end of slavery in the United States. Going forward annually, June 19th is hereby recognized as a holiday for Board of Commissioner agencies. And we will eliminate Columbus Day. We'll eliminate Columbus Day this year, but since Juneteenth already occurred, we're going to give county employees a holiday on the day after Thanksgiving for 2020. And moving forward, it'll be a swap out. Juneteenth will be a recognized holiday for our employees, and Columbus Day will be a regular working day. Pending any questions, request approval of the resolution.
Rob, do we have any of our labor unions that already have the day after Labor Day off?
Yes, OCSEA did in their agreement. We've already signed a memo with them to give them an additional personal leave day to be used by the week of Columbus Day this year to accommodate that removal of
So
Columbus
anytime between now and Columbus Day, they can use a personal day. Okay.
Yeah, the Friday of that week.
I thought we had one. I knew that.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the fair and right thing to do. I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do want to just say, and this is, I think, a really important. This is probably one of the more demonstrative actions that we've taken to remove one holiday that history didn't quite tell the full story until later for us, and to replace it with another in the same way that is much more inclusive and very important in the time we're in. I think it's just a great action and step. I know many counties and cities across the country are looking at this differently than they have in the past. Just a little bit about Juneteenth, and I'm not reading anything off the top of my head, and I hope I get it fully accurate, but Juneteenth is a celebration for those who might be watching and may not be familiar in detail with Juneteenth. It is a celebration for the actual time when slaves were actually freed, post Emancipation Proclamation. So the Emancipation Proclamation was passed in 1863, yet the slaves were actually not freed until June 19th in 1865. And the part of the reason why was as the Civil War had ended and there was the reconciliation was taking place in the country, they decided, our leaders of the country decided to allow for another harvest as part of the economic building of America, to allow for another harvest before the slaves would be freed fully. And I think it's interesting that we're having that conversation, and then today we have a very similar conversation happening on so many different levels. And so I just really wanted to identify and point out to everyone the true meaning of Juneteenth, and more importantly, the action that Franklin County was taking in its significance, and so recognizing as a paid holiday. It's the little things that often that help tell the real story about history and the meaningful things in history. Years ago, if you notice on the parking meters, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was a holiday that we all have been celebrating since we can remember. Yet it was on our parking meters. It wasn't. You still had to pay. On other holidays, you didn't have to pay. Holiday, it was free. Yet MLK Day, even though it was a paid holiday for the city, it wasn't. The meters weren't free, and we corrected that in a time on council. And so it's the little things that straighten and reconcile the true story of history and allow for the healing to occur. And I really think that's what this, in many ways, signifies as well. So I'm grateful and appreciative of the step, and I think it's meaningful and important.
Commissioner Boyce, I appreciate you saying what you did, and I would only add that I think during my tenure on the commission, we have taken a number of actions to right wrongs, to increase support for groups that have been marginalized, to do things to really embrace all that is Franklin County, and to really make sure that we are living the values that we espouse. And I think this particular time adding Juneteenth as a holiday gives us an opportunity to really do the education of the history that many of us, most of us, have missed out on getting, of why this is such an important holiday and what this means in history, and really writing something that hasn't been talked about, hasn't been taught. So I am so grateful that we're doing this, and again, take that step that allows us to live our values as a board. I think this is time that we do what we're doing, and I'm very grateful to this board for doing this action.
You know, not to feel the need to jump in every time, but you know, I grew up, I had no idea what Juneteenth was, didn't know there was a Juneteenth, never heard of it, wasn't taught about it, wasn't part of my educational background. Never heard of it. I didn't learn about Juneteenth until I ran for office the first time when I was 36 years old. There was a Juneteenth, there used to be a Juneteenth festival in Columbus.
Yeah.
So somebody said to me, one of my campaign people said, you got to go to the Juneteenth festival. So I went, what's a Juneteenth festival? Okay, it's in the African-American community, you need to go. So I went. And I got there and I learned for the first time at 36 years old, campaigning for office for the first time, what Juneteenth was. And I had no idea. I thought I knew all about, the Civil War. I thought I knew all about the Emancipation Proclamation. I thought I knew things. I thought I was aware, and I wasn't. I didn't know. And still didn't know enough, still didn't learn enough, but it was the first time. I was 36 years old. I mean, just shocking, to me at the time, and still shocking to me. I mean, I've learned more in the last, month about a lot of things than I thought I should have known. But it's, kind of amazing to me even today at 56 years old that, there's so much about African American history that you think you may know or should know that has never been taught. And so Commissioner Brown is absolutely correct. Commissioner Boyce is absolutely correct. This is a great thing for us. It's a great moment for us, but it also gives us the ability going forward to be able to continue to provide that for this community, the ability to educate folks on African American history. And it's not, it has nothing to do with, our loss of our ability to educate folks on Italian American history, because we should continue to do that as well. As one of the folks wrote in a letter to the editor of this morning's paper, there are plenty of other fantastic Italian Americans that we should celebrate and continue to celebrate in history. And we should probably look to continue to do that as well. But this is certainly a wonderful thing, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
And if I could just add to Commissioner Gray, I don't want to belabor this too much. I think the points have been made, but I think your point about Italian history and Irish history and Jewish American history. I mean, I can go on and on and on about what makes this country great, and it's the diversity and the experiences that make us a mosaic of everything on this globe. And that's the beauty of being an American. I will say, however, though, to think of the idea of our country participating in slavery the way we did, where the infrastructure of the country that we know today was built by those slaves. I just can't think of another example in history of the use of people in such a laborious, awful way for hundreds of years. And so that the plight of Africans who were kidnapped, raped, beaten, killed, families disrupted in a significant way over the course of hundreds of years as a part of our American history is something that we, as in our generation, we've got to do our part to change the narrative so that 200 or 300 years from now, our work will have mattered to change history in the way it's told, and most importantly, in the way it's being written as we speak. And so I just really value these moments. And I got to be honest with you, to my colleagues O'Grady and Brown, I've been in elected office. We were talking about time in service, and I've actually been in elected office for almost 25 years now. I've been in a part of the retirement system for almost 25 years now. And I've been in elected office for I don't know how many years, but probably 20-something years. And I can't think of a time where I felt I'm doing more meaningful work than right now with the two of you. You know, I really, this last year, these last 2 years, the work that we have done as a trio, and again, not tooting our horns or anything, but I'm just grateful. This has probably been my most meaningful time in elected office in the work we're doing. And I really feel like we are moving the needle and moving the dial. And for those who don't know, I mean, you know, it seems like we agree on everything and get along. We work hard at this, and we don't always agree on things. And these things don't always come easy. But when you've got two people who just at the end of the day want to work and do better for this county, I guess three, I guess that'd be the third one too, who want this county to do better and be better and tell history in a different way. I really honestly, I can't think of a time in elected office where I felt better about the work we're doing. And that goes to you two, Administrator Wilson, and your team of folks. I really think this is just a different, and I'll end by saying this. I was on one of my weekly census presentations, and I think it was former State Senator Ray Miller, who doesn't throw out compliments very easily, as we all know. He said, his words were, "This is the greatest county board of commissioners I have ever seen in my entire life." And, you know, he didn't throw out compliments too easy like that. And he said, the three of you have been amazing together and strong. And I think people are seeing the difference we're making. And so a few years from now, we'll look back at these times, and I think the record will show we made a difference. We changed things.
I would agree, and I appreciate your comments. I think we would be remiss if we did not mention the indigenous people who I've heard from a couple of, I'm sure you all have too, and just recognize their contributions to this great nation that was theirs, you know, and just recognize that and know that they too had the first stake in this country, and just recognize that as we go forward, and know that they too matter, and we need to just remember them as well.
That's a great point, Marilyn.
Well said. Well said. Agreed. Okay. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 436-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 436-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Director. The Purchasing Department, how are you today, Megan?
Doing well, thanks. How are you, Commissioner?
Good.
Resolution number 437-20, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,183,930.40.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry-Ballinier, Director of Purchasing. Our first resolution requests your approval of 98 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 11 out of 17 POs totaling $36,616.55 are being presented for award to 1 small and emerging business enterprise, 7 women business enterprises, and 3 minority business enterprises. This represents 64% of the eligible PO volume and 38% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
Excuse me a second. Dean or Megan, can somebody please read the dollar figure again for me, please? I think, and I want to make sure that it's correct in the system because I believe I have a different figure on my resolution, which is probably okay, but I just want to make sure we got it right.
Of course, Commissioner. Resolution 437-20 is in the amount of $1,183,930.40. And there is a second resolution under purchasing today also.
Okay. No, I got you. There's 2. I got you. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 437-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 437-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 438-20, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $400,288.32.
Commissioners, our second resolution requests your approval of 1 purchase order for the sanitary engineer in the amount of $400,288.32 to the Ohio Water Development Authority for a loan payment. The county auditor has pre-certified available funds, and pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of 438-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Resolution number 438-20 has been adopted with the abstention noted.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good day.
Thank you, Megan. The Board of Commissioners. We have a public hearing. Clerk Henry Lang, can you please read the public hearing into the record?
Resolution to consider the adoption of the fiscal year 2021 tax budget for Franklin County.
All right, I'd like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone in the audience today who would like to speak on this public hearing? All right, seeing that there's no one, I will close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 439-20, resolution authorizing the adoption of the fiscal year 2021 tax budget for Franklin County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tularic with the Office of Management and Budget. Pursuant to Section 5705.28 of the revised code, the tax budget for the next succeeding fiscal year must be approved by July 15th. The fiscal year for Franklin County is the same as the calendar year. The tax budget is a financial plan for the operations of the next fiscal year. It identifies how much money is expected from local, state, and federal sources, the anticipated carryover fund balances, and how much is needed to carry out governmental functions in the next fiscal year. The budget is submitted to the County Budget Commission and is required for the receipt of allocations from the local government fund and of the various property tax levies in the upcoming year. In addition, the Office of Management and Budget uses the tax budget to help develop guidelines for county entities as they begin entering their 2021 budget requests, which will be incorporated into the annual appropriation measure that will be presented in December. Due to the economic impact of COVID-19, the tax budget and associated guidance to general fund agencies include a 2.5% reduction, as well as restrictions on requesting new initiatives. Because the economic impact of COVID-19 remains unknown, further reductions may be required. Even with this reduction, it is projected that approximately $18.5 million in general fund reserves would need to be utilized in 2021 to support the budget. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 439-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 439-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 440-20. Resolution authorizing the transfer of the operation and duties of court and special advocates of Franklin County to the Office of Justice Policy and Programs.
Commissioners, previously, Resolution 116-20 was approved in February, expressing the intent to accept management and control of court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, into the Office of Justice Policy and Programs effective July 1st, 2020. This resolution would approve an asset transfer agreement, as well as other documents in order to provide for the consolidation. It authorizes the creation of a new fund in the county treasury to account for the operations of CASA, as well as appropriations totaling $492,273 to support the staff and office operations for the remainder of the year. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 440-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 440-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 441-20. Resolution authorizing the execution of a license agreement with I Am Boundless Incorporated to permit the use of certain parking spots located on parcel 610-125749.
Good morning. Dot Yeager, the Chief Business Officer for the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Good morning,
You'll
Doc.
recall that previously the sale of this building on Checkran Avenue has been approved. It was a building that had been purchased for our former residential operations. This resolution will allow Administrator Wilson to execute a license agreement at the time of closing of the sale to allow the purchaser to utilize parking spaces that are immediately adjacent to the building, however, technically on the neighboring parcel, which is also owned by the county and houses the Arc Industries North Workshop. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 441-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 441-20 has been adopted. Thanks, Dot. Resolution number 442-20. Resolution appointing and reappointing members to the Franklin County Reentry Advisory Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. This resolution makes 7 reappointments and 2 new appointments to the Franklin County Reentry Advisory Board. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 442-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 442-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 443-20, resolution reappointing Franklin County and joint Franklin County City of Columbus members to the local Workforce Development Board pursuant to the requirements of the Workforce Investment Opportunity Act of 2015.
Commissioners, this resolution makes the reappointment of 4 Franklin County appointments to the Workforce Investment Board and 2 joint appointments along with the City of Columbus. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of resolution 443-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 443-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 444-20, Resolution reappointing Sherry Blank Lazier, Esquire, to the Franklin County Public Defender Commission.
Good morning, Commissioners. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of this reappointment.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 444-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 444-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 445-20, resolution reappointing Laura Trope and John Cardenas to the Franklin Park Conservatory Joint Recreation District Board of Trustees.
Commissioners, pending any questions, would also recommend these reappointments.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of resolution 445-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 445-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right. Well, that concludes our agenda for today, June 30th. Clerk Kindenline, do we have any generalizations today?
No, Commissioner.
All right. Then that concludes our business. Do we, Mark Kovac from the Columbus Dispatch, do you have any questions for us?
I have one question, stems from yesterday's administrative briefing and then the public health resolution last night. I'm curious if you as commissioners believe you have the authority to institute mask requirements outside of public buildings, if that's something you're thinking about doing. Just a question in general on that issue. Is there anything more you can do to require residents to wear masks outside of public buildings, restaurants, or whatever, from a local standpoint?
Mark, we don't pass laws. We pass resolutions, which are statements of public policy, Franklin County public policy. We don't have the authority to pass laws. We are a factor of the state of Ohio. So we don't have the authority to do that. I wish we had the authority to do that because, I'd be more than happy to pass a law or an ordinance that does that. But we don't have, I guarantee you we don't have the authority to do that. But somebody needs to do that. Somebody needs to straighten folks out. And when the governor says that, if we had 2/3 of the people in the state of Ohio wearing masks, we'd be a far cry better off than we are. But then nobody passes a law, making that happen. We got a problem. But we are where we are.
Well, I think, we don't have the authority, but we certainly have the bully pulpit to say some things. And based on what the health board did yesterday, I don't know where the governor is going to be with his county by county approach, but if it gives us the opportunity, I sure would use it to use our bully pulpit and say what we believe to be scientifically sound information, that wearing masks is the way to control this and lessen the ability of people getting the disease. I mean, that's how I feel about it. And I would hope we would come out with some strong statements to that effect.
Yeah, I would join in my colleagues, Mark, and say that if we had the authority, I'd certainly be adamantly supportive of requiring masks to be worn. That being said, to Commissioner Brown's point, I think we're going to have to use our office as a platform to promote and encourage the use of masks. I think to Commissioner Grady's point that was referenced in the press conference yesterday, about 2/3 of the people wearing masks could really change the direction of this virus spread. And so, maybe one thing that we can do as a BOC is launch a campaign for wearing masks, and that might be as effective maybe. And I'm turning to the administrator to say maybe we should think of using some of our resources to promote the use of masks. And we can talk about this offline a little more, but I think the point is critical that we've just got to get people in this mode of taking this virus spread very seriously so that we don't have another shutdown or, certainly we don't want to lose one more life in this COVID-19 environment. So
we don't want to lose any more lives, and we don't want people getting sicker, and we can't have this happening when nursing homes are starting to allow visitations now. This is a problem. There are problems that this is not under control yet. And I think we take this very seriously as a board, and our staff take this very seriously.
I see that we have a representative of the county prosecutor's office still on the line. My assumption is that, I know we don't have the authority, but I'm wondering if the Franklin County Public Health has the authority. I don't know. I mean, I think Paul Thies from the prosecutor's office is still on the call. If the Director Mazzola has the authority, I don't know. The other side of that is, public health directors all over the country are getting beat up for for positions that they're taking. Director Acton Dr. Acton is not the only public health director that's stepped down from a position. I mean, directors all over the country have been getting beat up by the right wing for positions that they've taken in state after state, county after county, all over the country for taking positions of this nature. People should just be smart enough to wear their damn mask. And, unfortunately they aren't. And it's because they're being bad examples being set from the top, whether it's the president or governors or legislators across the country. And, people just need to wise up and set a better example. People just need to wise up and put on a damn mask.
Thank you.
All right.
I think that's it, commissioners, unless you have anything else.
That's all I got.
Thank you, everyone.